Kyle walked through the crowded market on the outer rim planet of Vera 6. The air smelled of exotic spices and strange metal, and merchants shouted loudly, trying to sell their goods. Humans were rare here, and Kyle felt the eyes of the alien, crowd following him as he moved between stalls. His mission was simple: collect rare minerals for his ship, but he couldn't help noticing the life and chaos around him. Amid the colors and noises, a figure caught his attention. She moved with a calm grace different from the hurried merchants and wandering aliens. Her robes shimmered softly under the artificial lights, and her posture demanded attention. Kyle froze for a moment, mesmerized. She's the most magnificent princess I've ever seen, he whispered to himself. At that moment, she slowly turned her head toward him. Her large eyes, bright and intelligent, met his. Kyle felt a strange warmth and fear mix inside him. It was as if she could see every thought in his mind. Then, without a word, she walked away, disappearing into the crowd. Kyle blinked, unsure if he had imagined the encounter. He shook his head and tried to focus on his mission, but curiosity gnawed at him. Who was she? And why did she look at him like that? He had heard stories about the Lyceran Empire, one of the most powerful and secretive alien civilizations in the galaxy. Their princesses were rarely seen by outsiders, and contact with humans was even rarer. Despite the warnings in his mind, Kyle could not stop thinking about her. Over the next few hours, he wandered the market, hoping to see her again. He bought strange fruits and a small energy crystal for his ship, but his attention kept drifting back to where he first saw her. As dusk fell, Kyle finally noticed movement near the edge of the market. The same princess was there, standing by a small fountain. She looked calm, almost expectant. He hesitated, unsure whether to approach. Before he could make a decision, a young alien boy ran past, bumping into him. Kyle steadied himself and turned back. She was still there. This time she spoke, her voice soft but clear. "You are human," she said. Kyle nodded, careful not to sound nervous. "Yes, I am. And you are the princess, aren't you?" She did not answer immediately. Instead, she studied him, tilting her head slightly. There was something about her gaze, neither hostile nor welcoming, but curious. "I am Lysera," she said finally. "Why are you here, human?" I collect rare minerals," Kyle replied honestly. "I'm a traveler. I did not expect to meet you." He struggled to find the right words. "You are different from what I imagined." Lysera raised one eyebrow, a small smile forming. "Different?" "Yes," Kale said, feeling braver than he expected. You move like you belong to a world of calm and power, and I have never seen anyone like you before." Lysera's smile widened slightly, though her eyes remained serious. "Few humans have ever seen me, Kyle. Fewer still speak to me without fear." I mean no harm," Kyle said quickly. I wanted to understand you, your world. I did not expect to meet a princess, and I could not look away." Lysera studied him for a long moment. Then she nodded, as if making a decision. "Very well. You may walk with me for a short while. But know this. Curiosity can be dangerous, Kyle. In my world, some questions bring trouble." Kyle's heart raced. She had invited him to walk with her. He could hardly believe it. I understand. I will be careful." The two of them moved through the quiet streets behind the market. Kale noticed how the city changed at night. The soft glow of lights reflected on smooth surfaces, and alien figures moved silently, almost like shadows. Lysera led him to a small garden in the center of the city. Strange flowers glowed faintly, and small water streams made gentle sounds. Kale looked around in wonder. "This is beautiful." Lysera watched him, her expression unreadable. "It is my private garden," she said softly. "Few see it. Fewer still are allowed here." "I am honored," Kale said sincerely. "And I promise to respect your trust." For a moment, silence fell. Kale could feel the weight of the moment. Meeting a princess from a powerful alien empire was more than he had ever imagined. Yet, there was no fear in her eyes, only curiosity, and perhaps interest. Lizara finally spoke again. Kale, humans are unpredictable. Many of my advisors think your kind is weak, unable to survive the dangers of the galaxy. But I see something different in you. Courage, and a mind that thinks quickly. You may be more than they expect. Kyle felt a warmth of pride. I just do what I can. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Lysera smiled faintly. Perhaps that is what makes humans fascinating. A sudden noise from the market reminded Kale that they were still in the city. He looked at her, concerned. Should we return? She shook her head. Not yet. There is time, but be cautious, Kale. Curiosity is a gift, but also a risk. You have stepped into a world that is not yours. Tread carefully. Kale nodded. He felt a strange mix of excitement and fear. For the first time, he realized that this encounter could change everything. Meeting Lysera was not just chance. It was the start of something far greater than he had imagined. As they walked back toward the market edge, Kale stole one last glance at her. The glow of the garden light highlighted her features, making her seem almost otherworldly. His mind whispered again, the words he could not stop saying. She's the most magnificent princess I've ever seen. And this time, she looked at him and smiled. The next morning, Kale could hardly focus. The image of Lysera's calm eyes and faint smile lingered in his mind. He walked through the shipyard, checking his vessel for the minerals he had gathered. But every noise, every shadow seemed to remind him of her. He had just finished loading the last crate when a small, shimmering orb floated toward him. Kale froze. It was unlike any communication device he had seen. The orb glowed softly, then projected a delicate light form of Lysera's face. Kale? Her voice came through clearly. Meet me tonight at the Northern Palace Gardens, alone. There will be no guards. I need your mind and your courage. Kale's heart raced. The Northern Palace was heavily guarded. To be invited there unaccompanied was unheard of. But curiosity and an unexplainable pull toward her made him nod, even though he spoke to no one. I will come, he said softly. The orb blinked once, then disappeared. The day passed slowly. Kyle avoided questions from other humans and aliens, pretending to inspect his ship. He was careful not to reveal too much, knowing that news of the princess's secret message could cause trouble. Night fell, and the city lights cast long shadows across the streets. Kyle wore simple clothes, nothing to attract attention, and moved quietly toward the Northern Palace. The guards were stationed at the main gates, but Kale had studied their patterns during the day. He slipped through a side passage, his heart pounding. When he reached the gardens, he found Lysera waiting. She stood beneath a tall tree with silver leaves that shimmered under the moonlight. Her calm expression contrasted with the tension Kale felt in every muscle. You came, she said simply. I would not miss this, Kyle replied. Lysera studied him for a moment. You are brave, Kale. Humans are unpredictable, and many of my people would fear such an invitation. But I sense something in you. Curiosity, yes, but also courage. You may be useful. Kale swallowed nervously. Useful? How? She gestured to a small, glowing map hovering in the air between them. It displayed parts of the city he had never seen. Some of my advisors seek to control me. They wish to arrange my marriage for their power, to strengthen their positions in the empire. But I do not wish to be controlled. I need someone who can think differently, someone outside our world. Kyle's eyes widened. You want me to help you? I want your perspective, she said, her tone calm but serious. Humans are different. Your kind can see problems in ways my people cannot. I need that. Tonight you will begin to understand my world, and perhaps help me protect it. Kyle felt both fear and excitement. He was a simple explorer, not a spy or a diplomat. Yet Lysera's trust gave him a sense of importance he had never felt before. "Show me," he said. "I will help however I can." Lysera nodded and led him through hidden corridors that connected the gardens to the palace's inner sections. They passed ornate walls etched with alien symbols, corridors lined with softly glowing crystals, and chambers filled with delicate sculptures of distant worlds. Kyle could barely keep up, overwhelmed by the beauty and complexity of it all. They stopped in a small chamber that overlooked the city. The floor was transparent, showing the streets far below, alive with lights and moving figures. Lysera turned to him. "This is where I think clearly," she said. "From here I can see both the palace and the city. My advisors think this room is empty, but it is my secret space to plan." Kyle leaned on the railing, staring at the city. "It's incredible. I've never seen anything like it." Lysera smiled faintly. "And yet, even here, danger exists. Some of my people believe in tradition, in rules that bind me. Others want to use me to gain power. You must understand, Kale, that what we do here cannot fail. A single mistake could endanger not just me, but the peace of this city. Maybe the Empire." Kale nodded. "I understand, and I will be careful. I want to help." For the next hours, Lysera explained the political tension within her empire. She spoke of secret factions, rival nobles, and plots hidden behind polite faces. Kale listened carefully, asking questions The next day, Kyle could hardly wait until nightfall. The city of Vera 6 buzzed with its usual alien energy, but Kyle's mind was elsewhere. Lysera had promised to show him more of her world, in a way few humans ever would. He wondered what secrets the princess would reveal, and what dangers awaited them. As evening descended, Kyle met Lysera in a quiet courtyard behind the northern palace. The air was cool, and the garden lights reflected softly on the fountain's water. Lysera was already waiting, her calm presence as striking as ever. "Are you ready?" she asked, her voice gentle but firm. Kale nodded. "Yes. I want to see your world." Lysera led him to a hidden passage behind a tall wall. The passage was narrow and dimly lit, with walls etched in glowing symbols that Kale could not read. He felt a thrill of excitement. He was no longer a visitor. He was stepping into the private life of a princess, into a world of secrets and danger. They emerged in a quieter part of the city, far from the bustling markets. Towering structures loomed above them, sleek and silver, with lights that pulsed gently. Lysera explained that this area was home to scholars, inventors, and strategists, people who worked to keep the empire advanced, yet often remained hidden from ordinary citizens. Kyle's eyes widened. "This is amazing. I've never seen technology like this." Lysera smiled faintly. "Few humans have, but technology alone cannot protect us. We must also understand people, their motives, their fears, their ambitions. Tonight you will see both." As they walked, Kyle noticed strange devices hovering in the air, scanning the streets. Small drones moved silently between buildings. Lysera explained that these devices monitored energy patterns and communication signals, helping to detect threats before they could act. Kale marveled at the complexity and efficiency. Suddenly, Lysera stopped. She crouched beside a glowing panel, embedded in the ground, and motioned Kyle closer. "This is a secret network," she whispered. "It connects parts of the city unknown to ordinary citizens. We can move unseen if we follow it carefully." Kyle studied the panel. His human intuition clicked. "So this is a way to explore safely, even if others are watching?" Lysera nodded. "Exactly. But it is still dangerous. Some of my people would consider this treason. If discovered, we could be punished." Kyle swallowed, but the thrill of adventure surged through him. "I understand. Let's be careful." They followed the hidden network, moving through tunnels and passages that twisted beneath the city. Kale felt like an explorer again, discovering unknown worlds, but this time the stakes were far higher. He glanced at Lysera and noticed a serious expression on her face. She was more than a princess. She was a strategist, a leader, and someone who carried the weight of an empire on her shoulders. Eventually, they emerged in a chamber high above the city, with a transparent floor that revealed the streets below. Lysera gestured to a series of holographic screens that displayed maps, data streams, and alerts. "This is where I plan," she explained. "From here, I can see the movements of my advisors, detect unusual patterns, and anticipate threats. But there is more tonight. You will see why your perspective matters." She guided him to a smaller screen, showing several figures moving through the palace. "These people," she said quietly, "plan to use me for their ambitions. They wish to force my marriage for political gain. If we do not act, they will control the empire through me." Kale's eyes widened. You want me to help stop them?" "Yes," Lysera said. "But you must understand. We cannot fight openly. My people respect tradition and order. Any visible resistance would be crushed immediately. We must be clever. We must be unpredictable." Kyle nodded. His human mind was already turning over possibilities. "Then we use what they do not expect. Things humans do naturally. Creativity, unpredictability, mistakes they cannot anticipate." Lysera's eyes glimmered. "Exactly. That is why I chose you. Few humans would dare step into this world, and fewer still could think as clearly under pressure. For hours, they studied the palace patterns, the movements of nobles, and the hidden energy flows of the city. Kale noticed small things, timing of patrols, gaps in surveillance, behavior of certain officials, that Lysera had overlooked. Each suggestion he made seemed to intrigue her. "You are clever," Lysera said, her tone almost admiring. "I underestimated human thought." Kale smiled faintly. "I learn quickly, and I pay attention." They paused to rest in a quiet corner, looking out over the city. The lights glowed like stars fallen to the planet, and Kale felt a strange calm, despite the danger surrounding them. For the first time he saw Lysera not just as a princess but as a person, strong, intelligent, and burdened by responsibility. "You see," she said softly, "even here, we are vulnerable. Some of my advisors will betray me. Others may act, too late, but with your mind we can anticipate the dangers before they reach us." Kyle's heart beat faster. He felt the weight of responsibility, but also the thrill of partnership. "I will do my best. I will not fail you." Lysera's expression softened. "I believe you, Kale, and perhaps in time others will see the value in humans as well. Your kind may be young in the galaxy, but you are capable, resourceful, brave." Before they returned to the palace gardens, Lysera led him to a small alcove where they could observe the city without being seen. Kale realized that every glance, every movement, every decision in this world had consequences far beyond what he had imagined. As they left the secret passages and returned to the familiar glow of the garden, Kale felt a new sense of purpose. He was no longer a simple explorer. He was a participant in a delicate game of strategy, politics, and survival. And beside him was Lysera, the magnificent princess, who had chosen to trust him. "Tonight, you saw the complexity of my world," Lysera said, her voice soft but steady. "Tomorrow we will face the first true challenge. Are you ready, Kyle?" Kyle met her gaze. The moonlight reflected in her eyes, making them shine with intelligence and determination. "I am ready," he said firmly. "Whatever comes, I will stand with you." Lysera nodded, a faint smile touching her lips. "Then rest now. The night has taught you much, but the journey is only beginning." As Kyle walked back through the quiet streets toward his ship, he realized something remarkable. The galaxy was vast, full of dangers and wonders, and he was just one human. Yet, for the first time, he felt he mattered, not because of strength or numbers, but because of courage, intelligence, and the bond he had begun to form with Lysera. And in that moment, Kale understood that this was only the beginning of an adventure that could change everything, not just for him, but for the Empire itself. The morning sun touched the palace walls, casting long shadows over the gardens. Kyle could hardly eat breakfast. His mind raced with thoughts of Lysera, the secret passages, and the hidden threats they had discovered the night before. Today, he knew, would test both his courage and his ability to think like a strategist. Lysera met him at the same quiet courtyard behind the northern palace. Her expression was calm, but Kale sensed determination beneath it. "Kyle," she said, "today, we act. The conspirators grow bold. They watch, they wait, and we cannot afford to hesitate." Kale nodded. "I'm ready. What do you need me to do?" She handed him a small, sleek device. "This tracks energy surges across the palace. Some of my people have devices that could be dangerous if activated at the wrong time. We must detect them first. You will monitor this and alert me to anything unusual." Kyle studied the device carefully. Though it was alien, it felt intuitive in his hands. "I can do this," he said confidently. Lysera led him to the hidden corridors again. Each step felt tense, like walking through a world that could collapse at any moment. The palace, beautiful and grand, was also filled with secrets and dangers that Kale had only begun to understand. They arrived at a chamber overlooking the throne room. Holographic projections filled the air, showing movements of the palace guards, advisors, and various officials. Lysera pointed to a few key figures. "These are the conspirators," she explained. "They plan to manipulate my decisions, using pressure and threats. If they succeed, they control not just me, but the Empire itself." Kyle studied the projections. His human mind immediately noticed patterns that Lysera had not highlighted. "These two," he said, pointing at two nobles. "They always move together. If we track them, we can predict where their influence spreads." Lysera nodded. "Exactly. Humans think differently. You see connections that others overlook." For the next hours, they worked together. Kale monitored the device, noting energy, surges, and unusual movements while Lysera planned their countermeasures. Kale suggested small distractions, ways to mislead the conspirators without direct confrontation. Lysera incorporated them seamlessly into her strategy. As the day progressed, Kale's confidence grew. He realized that humans were underestimated in this galaxy, not because of weakness but because of their ability to adapt, to think quickly, and to act unpredictably. He felt proud to show that capability here, beside Lysera. In the afternoon, a warning beep sounded from the device. Kale's heart raced. "Something's happening," he whispered. The energy pattern indicated that a hidden device had activated near the council hall. Lysera's eyes narrowed. "Then we act now. Follow me." They moved swiftly through hidden passages, their steps silent. The palace seemed alive with unseen watchers, but Kale felt a strange focus, a clarity had that. The following morning, Kyle awoke with a sense of tension in his chest. The palace, normally grand and calm, felt charged with hidden threats. Lysera had warned him that today would test them, and Kale could sense that the conspirators were growing, bold. He met Lysera in the quiet garden, where soft light reflected off the fountain's water. She stood tall, her regal presence unshaken, but Kale could see a flicker of worry in her eyes. "Kale," she said, "they have begun to act openly. Some of my advisors have openly questioned my decisions in the council. They attempt to sway public opinion, and soon they may try more direct action." Kale nodded. "Then we need to be ready. What's our plan?" Lysera handed him a small map. "We will expose their moves, but we must be careful. Any mistake could endanger the city, or worse, your life." Kale felt the weight of her words but did not hesitate. "I understand. Let's do it." They moved through hidden corridors to a small observation room above the council hall. From there, Kale could see the conspirators gathering, whispering, among themselves, plotting in ways that only someone outside their world could anticipate. "This is where humans can help," Lysera said. Your perspective may see things others overlook. Kyle studied the scene carefully. He noticed a pattern. The conspirators always positioned themselves near certain council members who had influence over public decisions. "If we act here," he whispered, pointing to the map, "we can intercept their moves without alerting the others. They will never expect it." Lizera nodded. "Good. Let's proceed." Using the hidden network and his keen observation, Kyle guided Lizera through secret passages to intercept the conspirators' communications. They planted subtle devices that would reveal the conspirators' plans to the council without being detected. Kyle felt a thrill as he realized the human ability to improvise was proving invaluable. Hours passed, and the palace hummed with activity. Kale suggested small diversions, moving objects, triggering minor alerts, creating confusion that allowed Lizera to gather evidence safely. Each action required precision and courage, and Kale handled it with a focus that surprised even himself. Finally, as evening fell, they had enough evidence to confront the conspirators. Lizera's eyes gleamed with determination. "It is time. We expose them, Kale. Are you ready?" Kale nodded. "I am. Let's end this." They walked through the council hall, blending with the shadows. The conspirators were still unaware of the evidence being gathered against them. Lizera addressed the council confidently, presenting the proof that the nobles had been scheming to manipulate her for personal gain. The council members murmured in shock. The conspirators' faces betrayed panic as their carefully hidden plans were revealed. Kyle stood silently beside Lizera, watching the human's courage reflected in her firm voice. "You see," Lizera said, turning to Kale briefly, "your mind and bravery made this possible. Many would have failed. But humans, you adapt, you think, and you act when others hesitate." Kyle felt a surge of pride. "I only did what I could. You did the hard work of leading, Lizera. I just helped." The conspirators were removed from positions of influence. The council now respected Lizera's decisions, and Kyle could see the shift in the Empire's perception. Humans were no longer just outsiders. They were valuable allies capable of shaping events with intelligence and courage. But the victory was not without risk. As they returned to the quiet garden, Kale noticed shadows moving near the palace entrance. A small group of conspirators had tried to ambush them, perhaps to reclaim control or eliminate the threat entirely. Kale's pulse quickened. He moved instinctively, placing himself between Lizera and the approaching figures. Using his understanding of human tactics and improvisation, he created diversions, leading the attackers into harmless traps and buying them time. Lizera's calm presence gave him strength. She used her knowledge of the palace to navigate safely, guiding Kale to optimal positions to counter any threat. Together they moved like a single unit, humans and princess, strategy and courage blending perfectly. After tense moments, the attackers realized they were outmatched and retreated, their plans thwarted. Kale breathed heavily, realizing how close danger had come. Lizera placed a reassuring hand on his shoulder. "You were brilliant," she said softly. "Your actions saved lives tonight. I am grateful, Kyle. The Empire owes you more than words can say." Kyle smiled faintly, though his heart was still racing. "I only did what humans do best: think, adapt, and act. That's all." Lizera's eyes softened, a rare warmth breaking through her regal demeanor. "And that is why I trust you. Perhaps one day humans will be recognized not just for survival, but for the strength of their minds and hearts. You are proof of that." As the night settled over the city, Kale realized something remarkable. He had come as a simple traveler, an explorer seeking rare minerals. But now, he was part of something far greater. He had helped a princess protect her freedom, prevent a conspiracy, and change the way her empire viewed humans. And beside him stood Lizera, the most magnificent princess he had ever seen. She had trusted him, relied on him, and together they had faced danger that could have ended everything. Kale whispered to himself, as he often did, We can do this. Together. The night was quiet, the city calm again. But Cale knew that tomorrow would bring new challenges. The conspirators might try again, and other threats could emerge. Yet he felt ready. Humans were underestimated in the galaxy, but he knew now that courage, intelligence, and the willingness to act could turn the tide, even against the most dangerous enemies. Lysera looked at him one last time before parting for the night. Rest, Kyle. You have earned it. But remember, the galaxy is wide and full of challenges, and humans, you are capable of more than anyone expects. Kyle watched her walk away, her figure illuminated by the soft glow of the garden lights. For the first time, he truly believed in the power of humans, their courage, their mind, and their ability to change the course of events. And he knew that as long as Lysera and he stood together, no challenge would be too great, no conspiracy too deep. The galaxy had not yet seen the full strength of humans. Cale whispered softly, almost to himself, "This is only the beginning." The night was quiet, but Cale felt no peace. The conspirators, though defeated in the council, had not disappeared. Lysera had warned him they would not surrender easily. Cale had barely slept, thinking through every possibility, every risk. He met Lysera at the garden where the soft glow of the fountains reflected in her eyes. She looked calm, yet Cale could sense the weight of responsibility she carried. "Cale," she said, "they are desperate. Some have left the city to gather reinforcements. They may return with force. We must be ready." Kyle nodded, tightening the strap of his utility belt. "I am ready. Whatever comes, I will stand with you." Lysera led him to a secure chamber in the palace, one few had ever seen. Holographic. Displays covered the walls, showing the palace layout, patrols, and possible points of entry for any intruders. Kyle studied the maps carefully. His mind worked quickly, noticing paths, weaknesses, and opportunities the aliens might overlook. "They will not expect human ingenuity," Cale said. "We can use that to our advantage." Lysera smiled faintly. "Then let us prepare. Tonight we show the Empire what humans are truly capable of." Hours passed as they devised strategies. Cale suggested traps and diversions. Lysera refined plans to protect the palace and its citizens. Every move required precision and courage, and Cale's confidence grew with each solution. He felt alive, more than he had ever felt on any mission or exploration. Suddenly the warning alarm sounded. Kyle's pulse quickened. The conspirators were attacking. They had returned with a small force, attempting to breach the palace and seize control. "Now, Cale," Lysera commanded. They moved through the hidden corridors, Cale guiding the princess and setting up diversions. Small drones activated alarms in distant halls, confusing the attackers. Energy gates flickered, blocking certain passages. Cale's human intuition and quick thinking allowed them to stay one step ahead. They reached the main hall where Lysera was most vulnerable. A group of armed conspirators blocked the entrance. Cale acted instinctively, using a small device he had prepared to disable their weapons temporarily. The attackers stumbled, giving Lysera a chance to move safely. "You were brilliant," Lysera whispered as they passed. "Your actions saved lives. Again." Kyle shook his head. "We save lives together. That's what humans do best. They adapt. They act and they think when others freeze." The hall erupted in chaos as more conspirators tried to enter. Cale quickly set up additional distractions, sliding panels, flickering lights, and small energy pulses that confused and slowed the attackers. Lysera coordinated with the palace guards, issuing commands with calm authority. Together they were unstoppable. Finally, they reached the inner chamber where the main conspirator had tried to trap Lysera. Kyle acted first, disabling the force field that blocked their path. Lysera moved forward, her presence commanding and strong. "You cannot win," she said, her voice echoing. "Your schemes are over. The Empire sees your treachery now." The main conspirator froze, realizing that his plans had failed. Kyle and Lysera advanced, their teamwork perfect. The guards arrived to apprehend the conspirator and his supporters. Peace returned to the palace.